IVM.
Yo guys and girls, what's up? Welcome to a brand new season of the Millennial Athlete with Tanvi and Shlok, a podcast for, of and by the Millennials. I'm your host Shlok Ramchandran and this is my co-host Tanvi.
Hi guys. So millennials are lazy, they're on their phones too much, they're entitled, all they want to do is have fun and they kind of don't know where to draw the line. Sounds familiar, Shlok?
Yes, extremely familiar. Has anybody heard about this tennis player called Nick Kyrgios? I mean, he throws tantrums. He goes to the audience and asks on match point that where should I serve, and then goes and gives them a high five. So they are a bit rebellious, but they also bring that entertainment factor on court.
Absolutely. I think today's pro athletes are a reflection of these stereotypes that are today typical of millennials as a generation. Gone are the days of sport being, a gentleman's game and athletes being a symbol of poise and dignity in victory and loss. That was what athletes were associated with. Even fans, I think, I remember this. I have this vivid visual in my head of the Wimbledon. First of all, the men's singles is called the gentleman's singles draw. And the fans sit in rapt attention and, in a very dignified manner will watch sport without making much noise and gone are those days. Fast forward to 2020 and we have this mix of, sublime talent with this super brat attitude. And it's kind of become part of a player's charisma. So, like you said, I mean, we see emotional outbursts all the time. A couple of weeks ago, we saw Djokovic let off some steam by hitting the ball towards a line umpire, and he ended up hurting a line umpire. But in a show of frustration, we see athletes hurling verbal abuses and rants towards the line judges, towards their opponents sometimes. But I think it's all part of the player charisma today.
I mean, yes, even in terms of footballers, they score a goal and then they are putting on the Batman mask and it just becomes so much more fun. And it is just not about what you bring on court these days. I mean, gone are those days where, you are a Bjorn Borg and you are all calm and you're all composed. You see all of us top athletes doing TikToks. And imagine Bjorn Borg doing a TikTok and it would be so funny. I mean, I can never imagine a Zinedine Zidane, not a Zinedine Zidane, maybe a Pele or a Maradona doing like a TikTok, in comparison to the millennials today. I was just seeing another TikTok of Shreyas Iyer, and that is what they just bring in to this new whole millennial world.
Absolutely. I think the fans are absolutely loving it. Whether it's the memes that flood social media the moment an incident like this takes place, Serena Williams and her venomous rant towards the line judge, which carved its place in Wimbledon folklore, but Jeff Tarango, who called the umpire the most corrupt official in the game, and that became. I mean, you see this display of emotion, which the fans are absolutely loving. It's added to the entertainment aspect of sport, and of course the punters, the sports commentators, absolutely love it when the courtside microphone picks up something that shouldn't have been picked up. So yeah, it's part of the brand of our millennial athletes, and I'm absolutely for it. But what do you think?
I mean, it is just not that now. I mean, the millennials also care about giving something back or doing something for the society. The other day, I was reading about Marcus Rashford, this 22-year-old Manchester United forward, and how he has formed a task force with some of UK's biggest food brands to help reduce child food poverty. I mean, for a 22-year-old to do that and, go up against the politicians in UK, I mean, that just shows the other side of those millennials. Similarly, somebody like Virat Kohli, I mean, he started this Virat Kohli Foundation last year, and I thought that it would be just to support upcoming cricketers. But no, he's gone out and he's looking for players from different sports and trying to support them and help them reach the level they aspire to be. So it is just not entertainment. They also want to make some kind of difference to the world, which we hope that even we do through this podcast.
Absolutely. I mean, as a generation, millennials are pretty much, they have this inflated sense of self-worth. They believe they have, first of all, very strong opinions on a lot of topics. And, they, especially athletes, being with the persona of, being a celebrity, they're out there to make a difference, cash in on the fact that they are celebrities, voice their opinions on social media, and not just accept things, because they've been done for generations. One thing I've realized is that millennial athletes today seem to be, the most influential celebrities. I remember reading about this obviously $1 billion deal that came. It was in the news all over. Nike and LeBron James, it was $1 billion endorsement deal. And just through the sale of LeBron James sneakers, Nike netted about 35 billion USD, I think, just from the sale of sneakers. I mean, he, of course, went on to use his popularity to, don these black and white equality sneakers in 2017, which were a canvas for political social expression. But yeah, I mean, he has that kind of reach, as a youth icon. The millennials look up to him, and here we are. We have a celebrity in him as a millennial athlete.
I mean, they just, they just don't look up to him. They try to even copy all of these superstars. Like today, if you go to any ground in Shivaji Park, everybody wants those MRF sticker bats and they want to bat like Tendulkar, they want to bat like Virat, they want to bat like Rohit Sharma. So, that is just the persona they have, among these kids. After PV Sindhu winning the historic silver medal at the Rio Olympics, all of these young girls wanted to pick up a racket and say that, I want to win a medal at the next Olympics. So that is the kind of impact all of these, stars have on the millennials. And from a brand perspective, gone are those days where the numbers wouldn't be out. But today, everybody, all of those contracts are disclosed and, the numbers are out there for, Rogers thinking, how much is Rafa earning from the Nike deal. And it's all about competition and it's all about who's going to become a bigger brand because, rightly, because a sportsman's money-making time is not very vast. Everybody wants to make money of whatever they are trying to do on court. And I think, that is fair, fair to every athlete in the world.
Yeah, I mean, that is a sort of bane of this millennial generation, I would say. Without realizing it, I think the moment we open Instagram and we see videos or, posts of endorsement deals that have been signed or this is a paid sponsorship with so-and-so, you are bound to feel insecure as an athlete, because everyone's, fighting for that limited piece of cake. So, yes, the stakes are high and the pressure is immense. Or even training videos. I mean, today we opened Badminton Association of Malaysia's Instagram page or, Badminton Denmark's Instagram page, and you see Victor Axelsen doing a particular workout in the gym, and you're bound to feel, am I doing enough? That's the first question that's going to pop into your head. So I think we do end up comparing ourselves a lot more at a rate that is pretty unprecedented. But yeah, I think whether you look at it as a bane or a positive is something now every individual athlete has to kind of judge.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to become a world champion in the next 6 months, right? I've picked up the racket, I want to be world champion. I've picked up the bat, I want to be Virat Kohli in 1 year. You remember, Tanvi, going back, to our under 13 days, our coach would say that, Rome wasn't built in a day. It is the kind of training. So one advice is like, slow down. I mean, Virat Kohli has become Virat Kohli only when he turned 26. It is years and years and years of toil. And that is what, has made Virat Kohli, PV Sindhu or PV Sindhu, or any star in the world. So, take your time. Rome wasn't built in a day, so take your time, work hard, and I'm sure, trust the process and you will become, the stars you look up to someday.
Yeah, I think there's this sense of time is running out. If I don't make it by 25, then my career is finished. This kind of a thought process, which the millennials, harbor very often, I think like you said, it's time to slow down. It's time to, and this lockdown has come at a perfect time. I think players, athletes have realized that, yes, there is life besides, there is another side to life besides sport and the rat race that we're often caught up with. So I think, and another thing that we've forgotten to mention, Shlok, is the fact that we do love our fun. We're not all super serious, and we realize that all work and no play makes us dull. So we love our fun. I mean, remember the PBL celebratory dance that Satvik would do every time he won a match? The commentators loved him. Star Sports loved him. We don't forget to have our fun. I mean, player parties are a thing now, whether it's the Premier Badminton League or the IPL. Player parties are a thing. Players are having their fun on field. And I think that's how it should be, because sport, at the end of the day, from a fan's perspective, it's entertainment. So all told, it's pretty clear that the millennials are a different ballgame altogether. Their DNA is definitely unique. And since our show is off by and for the millennials, I think it's time we decipher the Millennial Code and probably even help coaches and parents and people of the previous generation who are dealing with us. I think we can help them out a little bit.
Kitne uch vichar, Tanvi, kitne uch vichar. On that fun note, stay tuned, guys. We will take our first break. On the other side of the break, there is so much more to talk about. Stay tuned to the Millennial Athlete with Tanvi and Shlok. We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another awesome, amazing, superb week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. What a week we had this week. We had so much crossover, so many great guests. I don't even know where to start. Okay, yeah, I do know where to start. Let's start with Uncle Please Sit. Uncle Please Sit, Joel and Tushar had Hamsini Hariharan. Hamsini hosts a show called States of Anarchy with their network. She is a China expert, and they discuss the India-China relationship. Really fascinating conversation. Cyrus had 2 conversations this week instead of our normal Thursday Cock and Bull. Great conversations, both of them. We'll be back with our regular Cock and Bull next week. But this week, you could definitely check out the conversation he had with Varun Grover. Really fascinating stuff. And Nikhil Taneja, who was the founder of Yuva and the creative director for the India Film Project Festival, which is going on this weekend. He was on the show as well. Cyrus was also on Advertising is Dead this weekend with Varun Dugirala. Cyrus and Varun discussed Cyrus's intent on randomness. Ranveer Brar guested on Gauri Devi Dayal show. This rounds on me. Another amazing conversation over there. Priyanka Khimani, one of the best IP lawyers in this country, was on Storytellers and Storysellers for a fascinating conversation. Definitely do check that out. And finally, I wanted to congratulate Zarina Poonawala for her 100th episode. She had Ashish Vidyarthi as a guest on that. If you have not been listening to the Empowering series, please do. It's one of the great shows out there. And with that, let's get you back to your show.
Hello guys, welcome back to the Millennial Athlete with Tanvi and Shlok. And we were deciphering the Millennial Code. So that's where we are on right now.
As usual, Shlok, I have some gyan to give you.
Nahi yaar. Bas yaar, kitna?
The mood for today has been somewhat like this. Winners are dreamers who never give up. So looking back, I was just thinking, I mean, from where we started off as 12 and 13-year-olds training together in Mumbai, we were definitely not one of those super talented kids, I think in comparison to the other kids at the academy, we were probably the least talented, maybe the most hardworking, but definitely not super talented. But we hung in there, and we've gotten to where we've gotten to, I think by sheer hard work, trusting in the process, and not giving up. So how about a quick game to just break the ice and introduce ourselves to our listeners who are probably meeting us for the first time?
I mean, yeah, sounds like a plan. A quick heads up, everyone. You will actually realize that Tanvi is like a Gyani Baba, so you will have to bear with that because I'm bearing with that same thought for the longest of time now. Okay, so let's do like a 5-question thing. We do a 5-question thing, and then we'll answer for each other. Let's see who gets more answers right. Okay, so I'll give you the first question. Most likely to eat for breakfast.
Shlok, I know you're super particular about your diet now, and you'll probably have your overnight oats or muesli or whatever with almond milk and 100 other vegan ingredients. But I know you're a Tambram at heart, and so I think most likely to eat for breakfast on a weekend would probably be a dosa. Am I right?
I mean, dosa is probably the world's best breakfast, if I'm not wrong. Dosa, dosa, sambar, chutney, and I'm in heaven. But now that you've turned vegan, what do you eat? What do vegans eat morning? Air. Do you eat air in the morning?
I will leave that to your judgment.
I think you prefer eating muesli with almond milk because the whole vegan.
Okay, I'll give that to you. It's not. I probably opt for oats with almond milk, but okay, you're close enough.
But what is the answer?
It's almond milk. Yeah.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay. One food or beverage that you can't live without.
You
Mine
can't
is
live.
not obvious, so I don't even think you should answer this. But okay, go for it.
You can't live without coffee. You can't function without coffee. And it's overrated stuff. Coffee is this, coffee is that. I'm done with all of my friends saying that coffee is like the best thing in the world.
I think this move to Bangalore has been I think I've changed my preferences. I used to be a chai lover, loved my ginger tea back home in Mumbai. But yeah, I'm absolutely a coffee person now. I cannot live without my multiple cups of filter coffee, and it's just like my elixir. But in your case, I think it would probably be chai. I mean, if you're a true Mumbaikar, you would say chai.
I am team chai. I'm team chai always. Chai is best. Iced tea, normal tea, ginger tea, lemon tea. Best. Tea is the best and hands down beats tea, coffee. Tea beats coffee any day of the week. So I'll just take that and I'm just going to keep that with myself for the rest of my life. Tea beats coffee and I do not shift teams. You shift teams. I'm team tea all the way.
Okay. Let's keep that argument for another time.
Yes.
And move to our next question, which is your dream dinner guest.
So your dream dinner guest is for sure Rafael Nadal.
Exactly. How can you even think for like 0.5 seconds about this?
So much resemblance, the same headband, never say die attitude, running behind the court, like a mad person, and the shouting and the grunt. I mean, you need to be a mad person to like go and like run behind every shuttle, man. I mean, mad in a good sense. I mean, Rafael Nadal is a crazy guy. I mean, he runs for balls every day. So I would think that's a compliment for you. And yeah,
absolutely. I think the just enjoying that grind and the way he pumps himself up, his warm up. I mean, have you ever watched Nadal warm up? I am so enthused to go and train just watching him warm up. The intensity, the energy, the passion, and the way even when he starts, like you said, chasing ball, there's so much energy and, passion around that activity. He's definitely my dream dinner guest, hands down.
I mean, Novak Djokovic fan, but I love Rafael Nadal as well. So.
Vamos. But Shlok, in your case, I'm a little confused. I know you've spoken and talked a lot about Ileana de Cruz and how pretty she is. But I also know that you spent a lot of time a lot of time training at the Prakash Padukone Academy after you shifted to the Prakash Padukone Academy from Mumbai. So probably Deepika, was she a star attraction at the academy?
For sure, it is Deepika Padukone for sure. I remember, begging Prakash sir and Vimal sir, all of us, begged saying that please sir get Deepika, please sir get Deepika, and finally he did. And none of us could actually talk to her. We were just starstruck, and the whole conversation throughout the night was like, "Bhai, kitni sundar hai." So yeah, Deepika Padukone, hands down.
Out of league hai.
I'm not going to comment on that, but yes, okay.
All right. So moving into our next question, which is your favorite podcast, Shlok?
I can say, what's your favorite podcast?
Yeah.
So I know one for sure. It is The Habit Coach. It's produced by IBM Podcast. And knowing that you are such a very structured...
I think I talk about Ashton and his habits a bit too much.
Yeah, too much. I mean, it sounds like you only. You want life in a structure, 8 o'clock this, 9 o'clock this, 10 o'clock this, 11 o'clock this. What you're doing in the next week also is decided now. So I think, it is the perfect podcast for you. I couldn't listen it because I have nothing planned before. So, yeah. So, let me guess the other one. Is it, since you are like a big runner, is it the Nike podcast, the Nike training podcast?
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorites, especially after the interviews with Michael Johnson and LeBron James. I was a huge fan of that podcast. I mean, it's all about holistic fitness trends, nutrition trends, sleeping patterns. They've interviewed psychologists and everyone, whom all the sports science experts that work behind the scenes. So I think that's definitely one of my favorites. Yours is absolutely a no-brainer because the Star Sports footballing podcast is definitely going to be. Am I right? Is that your favorite?
Yeah, the Sky Sports football podcast is my favorite. I mean, just because I'm a big Chelsea fan, and heads up, all Chelsea fans. A big blue over here. I've got posters of Frank Lampard in my room. So it's a no-brainer.
I mean, I've heard Shlok has missed a couple of morning sessions because he stays up the whole night watching Chelsea matches. I don't know whether I'm letting out too many secrets here, Shlok.
I've never done like this. What? No. I would never miss training. I would watch matches, but I would not miss training. At least on record, I'm saying that. So.
And now that Shlok has taken a sabbatical from professional sport and is pursuing other fun things in life, he's trying to be a little serious and listens to the All You Need to Know podcast. Apparently, when he drives to train, he's coaching a couple of young kids now. So that 7-minute drive from his house to GSC every morning is when he catches this podcast, and I've heard him talk a lot about it. So that's definitely one of your favorites, isn't it?
I have to listen to Alex Matthew every day in the morning. His voice has to go in my head. Otherwise, the day is not starting. So yeah, Alex Matthew. I hope someday, because we are working with IBM, I get to meet Alex Matthew because I'm a big fan of Alex Matthew.
All right. If not training, what are you most likely to find Tanvi and Shlok doing? Shlok, you are playing FIFA on your PlayStation. This is universal. I think it's applicable to all the men's singles players at the national center. Any day off, we won't even get to see these guys. They're just one of the I think at Kashyap's house. Were you most of the time at Kashyap's house?
Yeah, Kashyap or Pranav Chopra's house.
Yeah, I mean the banter was something that should have been captured on video because I think you should tell us about it, Shlok.
Oh yes, it comes to a time where we actually want to kill each other. It is that bad. If somebody misses an open goal, you don't talk for weeks. It's that bad. It's that serious. So all my friends back at the national center.
I wish this seriousness translated into badminton. I mean, when you were playing your own matches, if you had half this seriousness, I think you would be world champions by now.
Yeah, man. Now that I think I should have done that. But yeah, shout out to all of my friends back home, Pranav Chopra, Parupalli Kashyap. I miss playing FIFA with you guys. Hopefully, I'm in Hyderabad soon, and let's play FIFA again. For you, I'm sure you must be at some coffee shop in Bangalore, trying out new coffee with a book in your hand, like the boring person you are, and doing this. Or maybe if you're in a slightly fun mood, you will be at some karaoke singing that Kabir Singh song "Kaise Hua." I don't know why you're singing that, but
I sent you some karaoke of John Legend just yesterday, so don't make me out to be some boring.
Yeah, Tanvi, let's just say that you did the right thing by joining badminton and not singing.
Was I that bad? I got a lot of rave reviews on my singing, and I literally people told me like you should consider this as your post badminton career option or something. I'm disappointed that my co-host has no faith in my singing, but anyways, let's move to our last question of this fun segment, which is 2 achievements that you absolutely cherish. I think they're like your favorite memories in your badminton career.
I mean, I think for you, it would be the Asian Games medal in 2014, the team event medal.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. I mean, the Asian Games bronze medal is like, the Asian Games medal is a dream for any athlete growing up. So I think even on days where, quite less that you are not actually motivated, you actually see that medal. And, I'm sure it motivates you to, play for another 10 years. And I think from a personal point of view, I remember watching you playing Carolina Marin, pre-Rio Olympics, served match point.
Yeah, I mean, that loss hurts quite bad because, yes, this was just 6 months before she won the gold at Rio, and she was in scintillating form, and I won the first game and served match point in the second, and of course she steamrolled me in the third, but yes, I was at match point and the entire crowd in Lucknow was chanting my name. It was like Tanvi, Tanvi, and it was such a special feeling. I felt like Sachin Tendulkar, at that point. Because it's like, Sachin. So there was energy, there was, and yeah, I was getting everything back, all the shuttles back. And so, yeah, that's very, very special. And I don't think I'll ever forget that moment.
I give you goosebumps.
Absolutely, goosebumps. But Shlok, for you, I think I remember having this conversation with you and your dad and the Thomas Cup. I mean, it meant so much to the both of you. I think your dad really, that was one of the events that your dad really dreamt of seeing you, as part of the Indian team playing the Thomas Cup. So when you got selected and when you called dad from the national center and I was like, Dad, I've actually made it to the team. I think there was this silence that you told me about, which was that, yeah, okay, this kid has actually lived the dream.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a very special moment in my life. I mean, I was 8 when, I saw Thomas Cup live on TV, and my dad would be like, the day you play Thomas Cup, you would make me the most happiest person on earth. It just, brings so much emotion, playing the coveted Thomas Cup and, wearing that India jersey and playing live on Star Sports. So it takes me back, very emotional. I'm a little emotional also now. But yeah, it was my dad's dream. So yeah, I'm so, grateful that, I was able to, do this for him as well.
Of course, you went on to play 3 World Championships after that. Must have been quite special, and reached a career high of 31 in the world with your partner, M.R. Arjun. So congratulations, Shlok. I mean, sometimes I think we as athletes are so caught up with what's not right about our game, or the things we haven't achieved, or the goals we have to achieve. Sometimes we need to slow down and take stock of what we have achieved, the trophies that are there in our cabinet, feel grateful for it. So, I think it's time we give ourselves a little pat on the back. What say?
For sure, a pat on the back, for sure. Wow, that was an emotional and fun segment. Uh, this is where we take our second break. On the other side of the break, we will wrap up the brand new episode of the Millennial Athlete with Tanvi and Shlok. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Entertainment is like food for the brain. It's a window to culture and a great way to understand the world around us. The internet has changed what it means to be an entertainer, creating new storytellers with millions of fans. It has spawned a new breed, the story sellers, those behind the scenes creating the business for this ecosystem. They work with brands, platforms and channels who are keen to capitalize on an audience hungrier than ever for more stories. I'm Vineet Kanabar, and I have a ringside view to how stories are told and sold. On my show, I bring you creators, artists, executives, and marketers for a freewheeling conversation around the business of entertainment. Tune in to Storytellers and Story Sellers for personal stories, analysis, and criticism every Thursdays as I talk to the brightest minds telling or selling great stories today.
Hello, guys and girls. Welcome back. On the other side of the break, we were just talking about each other. But now we are, going back in a little throwback kind of a mode. What say, Tanvi?
Yeah, I mean, throwback to week 2 of the lockdown, actually, when I remember texting you regarding the conversation we had during the Premier Badminton League in January about starting our own chat show, podcast, and you literally lolled me. But this time around, since we were both pretty jobless during the lockdown, you were like, yes, let's do this.
I mean, yeah, lolled you sounds so much like me. So yes, it's
the true millennial that you are. You actually lolled me.
Yeah, so true. And but yeah, it's been such a fun-filled season 1. We had no ideas how to do this, and we started figuring out Zoom, started our own podcast. So anyone out there, if you want to go and listen to season 1, go to Spotify, just type the Millennial Athlete with Tanvi and Shlok. You'll see about 14 episodes over there, which are, quite good to hear. I love the whole part of, setting up Zoom calls with, some of the best athletes in the world. Rohan was on show, Rohan Bopanna. And, we had Parupali Kashyap. And yeah, it was just so much fun during the lockdown. So did you have fun in season 1?
Yeah, I mean, it was entertaining. It was a great learning experience, and it kept me super inspired. I was motivated to train every day of the lockdown just because of these conversations that we were having with these stalwarts, whether it was Rohan Bopanna talking about, doubles partnerships and how you need to be, have this camaraderie with your partner even off the court if you wanted to be successful as a doubles player. Or whether it was Saurav Ghosal talk about how he broke into the top 10 in the world, he created history. So it was such a learning experience, super inspiring, and a lot of fun. I mean, the two of us were newbies in this, and I think we've come a long way, Shlok.
For sure. I mean, I got a lot of calls from a lot of my juniors saying that, they really enjoyed it. And, I hope that, this, solves a lot of these problems for the younger lot. I think sometimes they do need that, a little inspiration. So I hope, the brand new season continues to give them a lot more inspiration. Yeah.
I think I'm super excited for this season 2. Of course, our exciting tie-up with IVM, and that's actually why I'm super excited. We started off as newbies, and like I said, we've come a long way. And this tie-up with IVM, we're just learning as we progress, and hoping to produce a great show for you guys.
I mean, yeah, this feels such a huge step up. I mean, for the first time, we've got producers on call with us. I mean, I just feel so pricey now. I just feel so privileged that earlier on in our conversations, it would just be two of us and a guest, but now we've got an editor and we've got a producer on a show. So yeah, so this feels, like a studio kind of a thing. Obviously, in the lockdown, we are not able to go to the studio. But I'm hoping that, once things open up in Mumbai, we could go down to the studio and, get wired in. So, really looking forward to this new upgraded season of the Millennial Athlete with Tanvi and Shlok, powered by IVM podcast.
And as true millennials, Shlok, I think it's a responsibility that we have. We are in the midst of some crazy times. As sportsmen, we know what it feels like, with the Olympics being postponed, no clarity on rankings, no clarity on ranking points, when the circuit is going to resume. I see a lot of my teammates losing motivation. So, it's pretty tough being an athlete in the midst of this pandemic. So I think it's we have a responsibility here, whether it's reaching out and inspiring generation, whether it's keeping our teammates who are also millennials and dealing with the problems that millennials face. So I hope to keep them motivated and inspired. What say?
I mean, yes, you again gone to a little philosophical mode. Again, you became like Baba Tanvi, but I do agree on this point. I think, it's a responsibility to keep all of these young millennials motivated to train so much more, because everything is just so uncertain.
Do write to us. We are two very passionate sports persons who spend hours over Zoom calls discussing the bane of Indian sport and what needs change. Because, it puzzles us with the level of talent and with the number of players we have in our country today. Why do we come back from world events with 2 medals, 3 medals? This equation just puzzles me till date. So if you guys have any burning questions within you or anything that you want us to talk about, don't hesitate to shoot out a quick Instagram message to us, and we will surely incorporate the same in our next episode.
So yes, on that note, if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media. We are @IVM podcast on Twitter and Instagram. I am SHLOKH95 at Instagram and Twitter, and Tanvi is...
Yeah, mine is TanviLad93. Tanvi, TANVILAD 93. So guys and girls, thank you for tuning in. See you next week on a brand new episode of the Millennial Athlete with Tanvi and Shlok. Till then, take care and see you soon.
Have you ever wondered how successful people do their thing? How do they navigate the challenges they often face? Are you wondering about the future of restaurants, film, education, technology, and everything else in between? Hi, I'm Gauri Devidyal, best known for being one of the brains behind The Table, an award-winning restaurant in Bombay. One thing my life as a restaurateur has given me is the opportunity to meet with some truly inspiring people, most often just by chatting with strangers at the community table. And that's what this podcast is about. It's about learning the new dimensions of business and understanding how different people swim this sea. It's an opportunity for me to pick their brains and ask them all the questions on my mind, whether it's about learning from their past experiences or talking about future trends. Through their journeys, stories, and insights, I hope you too, like me, will come away inspired and energized. So come, join me every Wednesday with your favorite drink, because this round is on me.
बेटा, did you know 79% of all scientists in NASA are Indian only?
देखो, इंडिया में टैक्स सिर्फ मिडिल क्लास भरती है. Everyone is just enjoying free यार.
आजकल के youngsters are only interested in partying and enjoying. उनको देश की पड़ी ही नहीं है.
बेटा, तुम बस शादी कर लो, उसके बाद तो you can enjoy life like anything.
I will tell you what this country needs. This country needs 15 years of dictatorship. That is the only way to become a superpower. See the Chinese, how much they've progressed.
सुनो, तुमने ये WhatsApp forward देखा?
So what's common between all of these statements?
They're all absolutely rubbish.
Fake WhatsApp forwards that spread like wildfire.
And statements that defy any logic.
We are here to debunk them all.
Way of family WhatsApp groups, worst nightmare. Where what happens when you read a book.
Basically, we're just a bunch of guys who want to cut through the bullshit of everyone saying this, how it won't be true.
So that the next time someone confidently squeezes out some WhatsApp or Twitter BS, you can look them dead in the eye and go, Uncle, please sit.
So join me, Joel.
And me, Tushar.
Every Mondays for a fresh new episode of Uncle, Please Sit.